RVBN, The Rich Video Blog Network, home to weekly NFL predictions, great personality profiles, great professional wrestling video blogs, great sports video blogs, great everything. Collection of my work goes back to June of 2014 on various social media websites. RVBN, the only video blog on the internet that matters. Time now is 7:36 in the evening in Berwick, Massachusetts. Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. This is Rich again, back for your second and final video blog of the day for Wednesday, February 22nd, 2017. It's about 48 degrees out right now. It's perfect for this time of year. Several more days of warm weather. Maybe in March some snow, but not to get ahead of ourselves. Some news to report on the RVBN Newswire. It's down to Paris and LA to host the 2024 Summer Olympic Games. The decision will be made sometime this fall. And Ryan Callahan of the Tampa Bay Lightning is going to be out indefinitely because he has had another hip surgery. Not good. And Ole Miss football program has put a self-imposed ban of playing in a bowl game in 2017 due to violating NCAA rules to do with recruiting. Not good at all. That's about it on news from the RVBN Newswire. Be back in a flash for my second and final video blog subject of the day. Coming tomorrow on RVBN, the top 10 list of everything and anything is going to return. The top 10 celebrities, past and present, who would have made a good TV talk show host. And second video blog will be about a location of a steakhouse in Berwick if one came to pass. And the third and final video blog of the night will be about the MSG House Show card from 2/17/1986 by the WWE at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Be there as the late great Freddie Miller, who used to announce Georgia Championship Wrestling, the ring announcer. Time now 7:39 in the evening. Angelo going to go market the basket today to scratch off Melon's jaw scratches. Doing absolutely nothing. Keep calm, everybody. And I'm a Julie wedding guy. Julie is my favorite weather lady of all time. Got the best legs in Orlando, Florida, bar none. And coming soon, I'm guaranteeing you this, I'm going to interview Julie on my video blogs. That's my goal for 2017. I'm back. My second and final video blog subject of the night is about the WWE house show results from the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. The main event on this evening was Randy Savage facing against Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship, a rematch. But it was in the middle of the card. The quote-unquote main event was the Dream Team facing off against the British Bulldogs for the WWE Tag Team Championships, plus other exciting matches had on this card. It was on the MSG network, called by Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura, and it happened on January 27th, 1986. Here are the matches. The first match was Rene Goulet facing off against Dan Spivey, the Golden Boy. Eventually he would become Will and Mercy in WWE in circa 1995. Lives are going to be in Will and Mercy's hand. You know what I mean? He was an early prototype to the Bray Wyatt character. Anyway, this was about an 11-minute match. Rene Goulet looked good for Dan Spivey, even though, like, Rene was basically a jobber to the stars at this point. Dan Spivey wins with the Bulldog, which he was copying Barry Windham's favorite move. Dan Spivey eventually formed the New York Express with Mike Rotundo. The next match was Canada's greatest athlete, Dynamite Sharp, facing off against George Wells, who played football in the CFL. And this was a long match, back and forth, both were TV jobbers, and it ended in a time limit draw when both wrestlers were counted out of the arena around 18 minutes. They said the time limit expired. The next match was Tiger Chun-Li facing off against Ted Arcidi. Ted Arcidi was a bodybuilder from Boston. At one time, he held the record for the bench pressing 701 pounds. And he was a big jacked up guy. He was using the juice. And this was about a 4-minute match. Ted Arcidi wins by bear hugging Tiger Chun-Li. The next match was Big John Studd with Bobby the Brain Heenan facing off against Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff, and this was a grudge match. It was, Paul Orndorff was about to slam Big John Studd, but the Weasel interferes. Referee sees that, calling for the bell, automatic disqualification. Afterwards, Orndorff chases both Studd and Heenan out of the ring. The next match was Scott McGhee facing off against Terry Funk with Jimmy, the Mouth of the South, Hart in his corner. And this was about a 9-minute match. Scotty McGhee actually almost pinned Terry Funk, but in the end, Terry Funk pins him 1, 2, 3 in the ring. And then Terry Funk gives Scott McGhee the branding iron. You egg-sucking dog, you Dusty Rhodes. The next match was for the WWE World Title, a rematch. The main event, but it happened in the middle of the card. Usually they would always have the title matches in the middle of the card and at Madison Square Garden. They did that since the mid-1960s when Bruno was champion. It was Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth. Ooh yeah, dig it, facing off against Hulk Hogan. And this was about a 10-minute match, back and forth. Ending had Randy Savage throw Hogan to the ring post, and Hogan was trying to get Randy Savage, but Miss Elizabeth stopped him, and Hogan puts Miss Elizabeth down, and afterwards, Hulk Hogan gets mad. He puts a bear hug on Savage, and to several of the wrestlers and the referees and the producers, they were called agents back then, break up the fight. And later on in the card, Howard Finkel says they're going to have another rematch, but on the Lumberjack rules. At the next Madison Square Garden show, the next match was Moondog Spot facing off against Pedro Morales. Before the match, Jesse Ventura interviewed Blackjack Lanza, and Blackjack Lanza was announced as a new WWE executive. He's a backstage agent, or what they call now producers. And Pedro wins with this in this match about 7.5 minutes with a roll-up. The next match on this card was Ron Shaw facing off against Stevie Aoki, who was billed as Superfly Stevie Aoki in this one. Stevie Aoki was replaced since Jimmy Superfly Snuka as the high flyer from the islands of Fiji, and he pinned Shaw in about 6.5 minutes with the Superfly Splash. Superfly Stevie Aoki was a poor imitation of Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Well, I think WWE was going to push Stevie Aoki to Jimmy Superfly Snuka levels, but it never happened. The next match was the Junkyard Dog, or what David Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer called the Junk Food Dog, facing off against Adrian Adonis with the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, in his corner. This was only about a 3.5-minute match. Junkyard Dog got disqualified by laying their hands on a referee. You don't lay hands on any referee in the WWE, because if you do, the match is automatically over. You're disqualified. The next match was Barry O facing off against George the Animal Steele. This was only about 78 seconds. George Steele wins with the flying hammerlock. And then, the de facto main event for this card. The British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith, and the Dynamite Kid with Captain Lou Albano in their corner, facing off against the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Dream Team, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and Buddha's Beefcake with Luscious Johnny Valiant in their corner. This was a back and forth match. The Bulldogs almost won the titles. Dynamite had Beefcake in a penny predicament, but the referee was being distracted by Captain Lou Albano and Greg the Hammer Valentine, and Johnny V interferes, and he knocks Dynamite Kid out, and then he rolls over Brutus Beefcake, and the referee counts 1, 2, 3, and that's it. The Dream Team retained the WWE Tag Team Championship. And this Madison Square Garden house show card was a solid A-. And the last few Madison Square Garden house shows were, getting to be solid after several months of being like, run-of-the-mill or poor to awful house shows, which, some of the stuff on these house shows you could have seen on television at the time, on Championship Wrestling, on All-Star Wrestling. And don't forget, back then the WWE had 2 to 3 house shows a night. So sometimes they might not get the top talent at each and every Madison Square Garden house show card. It all depends. But if the wrestlers are on the card with Hulk Hogan, who was the WWE champion back then, they would expect a bigger payday than the other house shows when he was not on it. And that's about it on that. I will be back tomorrow. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. 3 more video blogs coming for you. You know what they are. I'm not going to repeat them. Like I always say to end these video blogs, keep calm, everybody. And I'm a Julie Bennett guy. Molly Rose Blood, WCCOX, and it's nice like Elizabeth, that's so stunning, she's the best. Amy Sweezy's awesome. Amy, Linda Church of WPIX Channel 11 New York, such a rocking cougar's got the best legs in New York City, but on. Bob Gibbs of ABC 11 has the Sweet 7X, best leg in Raleigh, North Carolina. Heidi Watney of MLB Network is so awesome, got the best legs on the MLB Network, and Kelly Nash of the NHL Network and MLB Network is such a cute leggy brunette. And have a good night, everybody.